There are specific things that confident people don't do because they know that doing these things is going to deplete their confidence. It's going to make them feel insecure, self-doubting, and unsure. And so they don't let their minds go there, because they know that not doing these things and keeping themselves away from these things is both going to help them become more confident, and it's also going to help them maintain that confidence. And they are little things that a lot of us are letting ourselves do on a regular basis that really are depleting our confidence and really threatening our sense of self and our ability to believe in and trust and might I even say like ourselves. And so today we're going to talk about what 5 of them are and what you can do to start turning these ones around, to start not doing these things anymore so that you too can start building your relationship with yourself and becoming more comfortable and confident in who you are now. If you're new to me and this is your first time here, my name is Kristina and I'm a registered clinical therapist, a researcher, a coach, and an online course creator. I have a master's degree in counseling psychology, and I help men and women break through fear and self-doubt so they can love who they are and step into their power. And confident people know that in order to build that relationship with themselves and love who they are, there are things that they will not allow themselves to do, because they know that these specific things will hijack that relationship with themselves and will keep them stuck in fear and self-doubt. And the first thing that confident people never do is they don't let fear or self-doubt make their decisions for them. Yeah, the truth is we all feel fear. We all have self-doubt. Sometimes we just can't control that. It just happens. It just comes. We're human. We all go through it. But the difference is with confident people, they decide whether or not they are going to let fear and self-doubt drive their bus. They decide whether or not they're going to let the fear and self-doubt make their decisions for them. And a lot of us think that we need to overcome fear. A lot of us think that courage and success comes from overcoming fear. But that's just not true. Confident people know that oftentimes, more often than not, fear is just coming along for the ride. They do it scared. Because how many of you are standing on the sidelines and waiting and hoping and wondering when you will feel less fear, when you will feel less self-doubting, when you will feel ready? And the truth is that there are very few times in our lives when we want something important or big or meaningful to us, and there isn't like the butterflies in the stomach, there isn't the fear, there isn't the thoughts that come in and make us wonder if we can, wonder if we should, wonder if we're good enough. Those thoughts and those feelings come in, and confident people acknowledge those feelings. They say, hey fear, hey self-doubt, I guess you're hanging out, so I guess that we're going to do it together, and we're going to do it. We're going to do it anyways. I guess we're going to do it scared. I guess we're going to do it with that self-doubt. And it's funny, a couple years ago when I first started on live streaming video, I was on an app at the time, it was called Periscope. It's still kind of around, but it was big for a little while, and I started doing live stream videos. And I remember they said, get your first 50 broadcasts out of the way, because, you're going to kind of suck until you get like the groove and you get into your own voice and, you start feeling it. And I was like, okay, 50 broadcasts of me being scared and insecure and uncertain, but doing it anyways. I remember the first, in all truth, they said the first 50. I bet you it was almost the first 200 broadcasts that I did where my finger would shake going to press the start broadcast button, and I'd be sitting there going, don't do it, Julia, don't do it. It's too scary. You can't do it. And I'd just be like, screw it. You're doing it scared, because the only way to get better is to stretch. The only way to grow is to get uncomfortable and to stretch and to push. Not so much so that it's traumatizing, but we absolutely do need to push ourselves somewhat. We need to stretch if we want to grow. So I was like, okay, I'm doing this scared. And so I was able to build my confidence through that. Not the first 50 broadcasts, about the first 200. And I remember thinking, is this ever going to get easier? Am I ever going to not feel like peeing my pants before I go live? And yes, absolutely, it did. But it didn't happen overnight. And I absolutely didn't get more comfortable doing it by sitting and waiting to feel comfortable and confident before I started. The next thing that confident people don't do is they don't believe everything they think or everything we feel or they feel. Because sometimes feelings lie, and oftentimes our thoughts lie to us, that they are not accurate portrayals of reality, that they are not fair evaluations of situations. And confident people know that just because they might feel or think something negative or critical or self-defeating or self-deprecating or nasty about themselves, just because they think or feel those things in a moment, it doesn't mean that they are true through and through. And they don't let those self-criticisms, those self-defeating beliefs, those negative thoughts, they don't let those things be their story. They don't let those things have the final say. They acknowledge it. They say, hey thought, hey feeling, I see you there. I see you coming in and trying to knock me down. I see you come in and try to take my joy and make me feel small. And I see you come in and trying to stop me from pursuing my goals and fulfilling my dreams. I see you trying to stop me from liking who I am and stepping into who I am. I see you trying to do it, but you're not welcome. But you don't get to decide. I see what you're doing, but I decide who I am. I decide what I do. That just because I feel like a failure, just because I think that I'm a loser, just because I feel like I can't do this, it doesn't mean that I am a failure. It doesn't mean that I am a loser. It doesn't mean that I am a reject. Just because I'm feeling those things in this moment, something's gotten triggered, something's happened, I'm having these thoughts, I'm having these feelings, it doesn't make them an accurate portrayal of reality through and through. I'm having a moment. And they don't let those things have the final say. They don't believe everything they think or feel. Which goes to one of my favorite quotes that I recently came across, and it's the quote on the archway at Center Court at Wimbledon. And the quote is a Rudyard Kipling, say that 5 times fast, Rudyard Kipling quote, and it says, if you can meet with triumph and If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat these two imposters just the same. And I recently put this one up on my Instagram, and I'll put the link to that below so that you can save it and do whatever you want with it. Because that is such a powerful quote. If you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat these two imposters just the same, they are just experiences. We make them mean something. We oftentimes make disaster, failure, loss, frustration, discouragement mean something about us. We make it say that, well, it's because I'm a loser. It's because I'm no good. It's because I suck. It's because I am a reject. It's because I am a failure. But these are just experiences. These are just imposters. And we decide what they mean. Confident people don't always believe everything they think or feel. The next one, confident people, they don't get overly critical of themselves. Or if they do, they catch it and they turn it around. So if they notice themselves having a feeling, if they notice themselves feeling jealous or comparing themselves or feeling angry or feeling resentful or just feeling icky and they don't know why and they don't like the feeling and it doesn't feel good, they don't come in and they don't judge themselves for feeling that way. So they're having this feeling, but they don't come in and say, ugh, you're such a loser. You're so pathetic. Why can't you get it together? Why can't you be more emotionally mature? Why are you such a loser? What's wrong with you? Why can't you handle things that other people can handle? They don't do that because they know that that is a one-way ticket to feeling crappyville. And so they don't let themselves do that. Have you ever done that? Have you ever struggled? So you're having this struggle, you're feeling something, but then you've judged or criticized or berated yourself for feeling that way? Full confession time. Let me know in the comment section below, because believe you me, I am mayor of that town. I have done that so many times. But really learning how to just acknowledge whatever it is that we're feeling and not judging ourselves for having feelings, just noticing it. Getting curious about it. If we're being triggered, asking ourselves, what's going on? Why is this happening? I wonder why this is happening. I wonder what just happened, and really just checking in with ourselves. It's bad enough that we're having an uncomfortable feeling. We don't need to make it worse by judging or berating ourselves for having it. So letting ourselves get curious and ask ourselves what's going on, getting to the bottom of it. And then even saying, what is happening? Why is this happening? What do I want to do with it? And sometimes what I want to do with it is just sit and let myself be and let that thought or that feeling pass through. I don't need to criticize myself for being a human being, an imperfect human being. Which leads us to the next one. Number 4 is that confident people don't let others push them around, take advantage of them, or manipulate them. And I just did a whole video about this, talking about why people manipulate you and what you can do to stop it. But confident people have healthy boundaries. They don't let other people treat them however they want to treat them. They allow themselves to say what's okay and what's not okay, to have their own wants, needs, and preferences, ideas, thoughts, opinions, and to communicate them in a kind, responsible, and respectful way. That they don't push their ideas on other people, but they also don't let other people push them around with their ideas. They hold and stand in their sacred ground. They don't invade anybody else's space, but they don't let other people invade their space. And that is an extremely empowering place to be, when we can stand and feel comfortable and confident in who we are and how we are and what we are and why we are. And we can freely and fully express that and share that and communicate that in respectful, responsible ways. They have healthy boundaries, and I've got a download for you. We're not done yet. We still have another one in the next one. My number 5 is my favorite one, so stick around for that. But I want to let you know that when it comes to saying no and having healthy boundaries for ourselves and speaking up, I have a download for you. It's a really simple one, 25 ways to say no, that will give you some really great ideas for how to start having healthier boundaries in your life. Start learning how to say no in ways that feel right and okay for you. So make sure you grab that. It's going to be in the description below, 25 ways to say no. And then our last one, and this is by far my favorite one, about confident people. And I actually put this quote, this came out of my mouth one day when I was working with a client. And it has been my mantra, one of my main mantras ever since. And I put it on Instagram. So I'm going to leave the link for that as well, that you can go and see that there on my Instagram account. And the quote goes like this: "The only thing that makes confident people special is they know they don't have to be special in order to be confident." Because what confident people never do is they never think that they have to be perfect or the best or have it all figured out or all together or be the strongest or the most beautiful or the most fit or the most successful or the most rich or the most whatever in order to feel good about themselves now. They do not have prerequisites for their self-acceptance. The only thing that makes confident people special is they know they don't have to be special in order to be confident. It doesn't mean that they don't still grow and stretch. Like we talked about, they grow and they stretch and they step outside of their comfort zone and they do things because that's a natural expression of being a human being, that we're not happy if we just sit idly by and just do nothing and don't use our brains and don't use our bodies and don't learn and expand. We're not happy if we're not doing that. It's a natural part of who we are as human beings. So yes, they are always learning and growing and expanding and loving and accepting themselves for who they are, what they are, and how they are now. make sure you grab that download, 25 Ways to Say No. Which one of these connected with you most? Which one are you like, yep, that's the one I need to work on the most. That's the one that is biggest one that is holding me back and getting in my way. And I'm going to commit to not doing that anymore. I'm going to commit to making that my intention, my commitment to myself to work on that one. Which one of these stood out for you? I love to hear in the comment section below, or any other thoughts that you have about this video. And like I said again, make sure that you like the video, that you subscribe to the channel so we can stay connected, share this one out, and join my Facebook group, goodformegroup.com, full of some of the most kind, supportive, awesome, heart-centered go-getter men and women. And I will look forward to seeing you there. Take good care.